right, last part of this morning's content session, which means that we will be pretty much halfway through the event already. Isn't that crazy? I know. Don't worry. It only gets better from here. We're still building to the crescendo. This is not the homeward slope just yet. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but I think it was the first day I was telling you about a conversation I had with Kathy, who was our fantastic yoga leader. Yeah, and we had a conversation as a coach. She's a coach, really just talking about, what is it like to bring people through the WildFit experience? What do you bring as a coach? Like, how do you add into it? How do you help people? And we end up having this conversation about self-love. Maybe someone has had a different experience, but I would take a guess that most of us at some point in our life have been handed down the belief system that I'm not good enough or I'm not deserving at some point in our lives. And I think most people grow up with such a distorted sense of body image and self-worth, just kind of by the general toxic osmosis conditioning of our societies, that when we come to do the really, really hard personal work, sometimes we meet that obstacle right up front. And some of the coaching clients that we were talking about the experience with, I know for myself, many times when I had a false start in the direction of health, the reason why I turned away from it was just at that moment where I was making great progress, my poor self-esteem or my poor self-worth was like, yeah, well, maybe you achieved that, but you're still a piece of shit. Like, what difference does that really make? And if you have that voice, if you have that sense of who you are, it can be really difficult to make those last few steps into the direction of meaningful change. So that's why I'm super excited to be able to introduce our next speaker, because I feel like she brings in some of the missing pieces of the more internal element of what a WildFit journey could look like, but not even just for those in WildFit, what a personal journey can look like, and how we can transform our sense of self, our relationship with the world, our entire lives through, energetics, through self-understanding, through compassion. I met Sonia last night and had a really beautiful conversation with her, and she's obviously so insightful and wise and intelligent, but what I really appreciate about you, Sonia, is that it's very clear from the moment you meet her that she's a living example of what she teaches, which, in the personal growth world is very important. And her personal integrity, being a light of look what's possible, is really inspirational for me, and I'm sure it will be for you too. So please give a big, warm round of applause for Sonia Bueno de la Torre.
So, I'm someone who likes to stay active. I like to go to the gym. I love to dance. I play tennis, and I like to keep things moving in my life. And that has not always been that way, though. And I remember last year I had a knee injury. I couldn't really exercise a lot. Went through a hurricane. Life happened. I kind of fell off the wagon. I was totally out of shape, gained weight, and I felt pretty heavy in my body. And I remember the day that I decided to run again. And I don't know if you know that moment when you get up in the morning, you put on your shoes on, and you run, you feel like heavy, and you feel like I'm tired, it's no fun, and your energy is a little low, right? So that was me, and I was running. And my internal conversation, the energy that I was in, the words that I was saying to myself were, this is so hard. I can't do this. This is no fun. And so I allowed myself to do this for a couple of minutes, but it was really no fun. So I made a decision because I know about the power of shifting your energy, and I know better. So I asked myself a question while I was running, and that's actually a very good question to keep in mind for any struggle or any situation that you feel stuck and you want to actually shift, is what would it take for me to enjoy this run? And you can ask the question in any way you want, like what would it take for me? What would it take for me to enjoy that present moment, or whatever it is that you would like to shift? So I asked that question, and it's actually very powerful if you're not attached to the outcome and having the result right away. So don't ask the question, it's like, yo, what is it, what is it? No, just like, what would it take? And then I came up with a little game for myself, using the power of words and using the energy of words. So I was running, and I decided to use the alphabet A, B, C, D, la, la, la. And to come up with one word, one powerful, one uplifting, one beautiful word that makes me feel better. I just lost something. I think it's okay. That makes me feel better. So I was running, and I was saying it out loud. Amazing. Brilliant. Charismatic. And I was running, and I was saying these words out loud. Didn't care what people were thinking about me. I'm sure they were thinking I'm nuts, but that's okay. IBCD. Delicious. And I also was tuning into the frequency of the word. It was not only about saying the word, it was about tapping into the frequency, the energy of that word, and to really imagining and feeling that I was, at that moment, amazing, brilliant, charismatic, delicious, elegant. And I'm, originally I'm from Germany, that's why I have that weird accent. And so I was saying A, B, C, D, E, elegant, F, free, gorgeous, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, hilarious, and so on and so on. I get to K, and I was like, creative. So in a sense, it's like I really was doing that. And while I was doing it, here's what the transformation that occurred is that because I shifted my energy, because energy follows attention. What you focus on, you get more of. So by me going away from it's hard, it's heavy, I feel whatever I feel, I'm not in shape, and keeping saying those words, I shifted into words that uplifted me and that changed the frequency of what I was experiencing in that moment. And then the result was that I had a lot of fun, I felt better, I felt accomplished, and in no time I was back home where I started and I didn't even notice it. So that's the power of really using words to change your energy. And as Mia introduced me so beautifully before, my name is Sonia Bueno de la Torre, and it would be more sexy if I would have a Spanish accent, but I have a German one. So, and there are 3 things you need to know about me. The first one is that if you've ever felt overweight, not good in your body, or not happy with yourself in any way, I know exactly how that is because I've been there. The second thing is that when you know about energy and you can change the energy, it can affect every area of your life. Shifting your energy can shift the quality of your relationships. It can shift how you feel about yourself. And it can also change, anything in your life. And the third thing is that I truly believe that you can change anything when you shift your energy. And when you know how to shift your energy, it can also affect how you speak to yourself internally and also to other people, to your family, to your friends, or it doesn't matter to how many people you speak, but when you know how to shift, that makes a huge difference in your life. And today, it's just one piece of energy, because it's, of course, I could talk for days or years about this, but we're gonna pick one piece, and it's the power and the energy of words, and how you can use language consciously to make a difference in your life. And I'm gonna share with you 2 ways of doing that, and 3 most important words that you get to shift to make a difference in your life. Okay? You with me? Fantastic. Okay, good. So, and I love everything I've heard today, and some of the pieces are so in alignment with what I do in my work. I do deep transformational work. I discovered throughout my healing journey that deep transformational work and helping people shift their energy is my strength. And I want to get back to what I heard in the beginning, and I don't know if Eric said it or someone else, that applies to WildFit as well, that it's not about only eliminating things and being resistant and judging things. It's about bringing more of the good stuff into your life instead. So that applies very much to the energy of words as well. The story that I shared, what I did, and I brought more good words into my system. So by adding more uplifting, more powerful words into your life, that's already gonna shift your energy and gonna bring more positivity and more mindfulness into your life. And of course, if you don't run or if you don't have, you can Let me share a super, super simple exercise with you, if you want to. Like super, super simple, easy, everybody can do that. Take a piece of paper, and you don't have to do it now, but, you know, and write down 10 words. 10 words that you love, that make you feel good, that when you read them, they uplift you, and put them on your fridge. Put them on the fridge. And every time, let's say that's a fridge, you put it on the fridge, and every time you go to the fridge to open up the door, you read those 10 words out loud. And you take a nice deep breath with it. You just don't say, amazing, free, gorgeous, beautiful, powerful. No. You go to the fridge and you open up the door, and whatever stands says like amazing, healthy, committed, powerful. Give me some of your favorite words, just 2 or 3. Who has a really juicy word? I heard you had that, you associated one word with each of you, right? I wasn't here. Does anybody want to share one? Yeah. Magical. I love magical. Yeah. One more, someone wants to share theirs? Delicious. Delicious? Love delicious. Okay. So that's a super, super easy exercise, and it actually also can help you with the choices you're going to make when you open up the fridge. Because when you read the words before, they change your energy. You feel powerful, confident, delicious, magical. You open up the fridge and you see like a piece of cake and you see like a piece of chicken. You're like, if I'm all of that, I'm choosing the chicken now, you know? So that's just a quick exercise. So bring more of the good words into your vocabulary, into your language, also when you talk about yourself. Because our internal conversation is really what makes us feel the way we feel. The other way that you can use the power and the energy of words is by removing and or erasing certain words that most of us use completely unconscious, completely automatic. They're so ingrained in our society. Everybody says them all the time. And I'm going to share the 3 most important ones. There are way more words, and if you want to know more about the words, feel free to come to me later and talk to me. So, and it doesn't matter if you know all of this already, and if you're already an expert in it, and you have it all figured out. It doesn't matter if you do some of it, and it doesn't matter if you've never heard of this before. This can totally change your life, and if you're doing it already, you can take it a step further. So the first word that I invite you to shift and to erase from your vocabulary is obviously I can't. And I want to illustrate a little bit why and what the energy is behind. I can't closes the door. When you say I can't, energetically you shut down, you close up, there's no possibility. You just stuck. I can't do it. And energetically, it's like more of a down spiral, like kind of like heavy, kind of closed, this. So you don't see, obviously, anything else because you can't. So, and it's usually not the truth most of the time. I had a client that I spoke last week. Her name is Colleen. And I have a weekly show called the Soul Infused Monday. And last week I spoke about the power of words as well. And I shared some of the things that I'm sharing with you here today. And I had this conversation with my client, and she said, Sonia, I can't leave my job. I was like, interesting, good. And she knows about it, and she asked me, how can I shift that? Because every morning she was waking up dreading it. You know, kind of feel heavy, didn't enjoy it. Every day, I mean, your job, every day you go in that energy, you're not going to be happy. And so I said, okay, so you obviously can leave your job, but you choose not to. So instead of saying I can't, you say first I choose to, because you always have a choice. But the powerful thing also was not only that she changed that. When I asked her, okay, why do you choose to keep your job? You know, because usually you're busy with I can't, I don't like it, this job is not making me happy. Why are you choosing to keep this job? And then she shared with me, she has a daughter and she is going to go to college next year. And she wants to financially support her. It's like, okay, so how do you feel about helping your daughter to go to college? And she's like, great. Okay. So what's helping you to support her? And she's, so my job. And she says, yeah. So how does that make you feel? And I'm not going to pretend that she said, oh my God, I love my job now. It's the best job in the world. However, now she wakes up in the morning and she's grateful that she has the opportunity to have a job where she can have that financial security to support her daughter. So she feels better. She feels more empowered. But the most powerful thing was that she was grateful for something that before she did kind of like, Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, good. So next time you use I can't, try I choose to, or simply I can, or it's not important to me even. It's like, or sometimes it's so subtle and so, like, I can't sing. Of course you can sing. You might not want to because you might lose your friends. I don't know. But, you know, it's like you could, but you choose not to. Okay? So that's the first word. The second thing is I have to. I have to. I have to. I have to. We have to do all the time something. And from an energetical perspective, I have to often has the energy of pressure, guilt, heavy. I have to. I have to. I mean, even if I say it 3 times in a row, I feel like, ugh, right? So, obviously, again, you don't have to. You make a choice. And one thing that you can substitute it with that helped me incredible as well is to say, I get to. Just feel the energy of I have to and I get to. It's empowered. It's like I get to. I make a choice. Like, oh, I have to do the dishes. Well, I get to do the dishes because it will make me feel better if I don't have all that dirty dishes in the kitchen, right? So I have to, I get to, I choose, or I'm just simply doing. I'm doing the dishes, period. The third word is very similar to I need to. It's very similar to I have to, is I need to. And when we say I need to, often comes with an internal pressure as well and a little bit of a judgment. Oh, I need to get better at this. I need to do this. I need to. And it comes from a needy place, not as an empowering place. So instead of saying that, you can say again, I choose to, or I want to. I need to get better in, I don't know, speaking on stages. And then I say, no, I want to. You know, I get better. So it's about using the words to get empowered versus using words that take your power away. So to recap, you can use more uplifting words to bring into your vocabulary, into your life, that will help you to open up, that feel more expanded, more empowered. And, or both, you erase certain words like I can't, I have to, and I need to from your vocabulary. So I'm inviting you, and of course it's super optional because you make a choice, obviously. I'm inviting you for the rest of the WildFest event and for the weekend to practice, to listen to your own words, and every time you catch yourself using I can't, I have to, or I need to substitute. And because you are such an amazing group here together and you are supporting each other, call each other out if you like. Ask for permission first. Okay, great. So if I can leave you with one thing today, it's really that you have the power to change and shift in an instant. And I remember when I was not so happy about myself. And when I look back, I was so unhappy with myself, didn't love myself at all. And if I would have kept saying these words over and over, and I would have not made the shift, and of course it goes much deeper. It's not going to happen overnight. And that's what Daniel also said. You know, it's a process. Keep going. You're not going to play Mozart in a day, right? Mozart, that was German, right? But he's German, right? So take a nice deep breath, just even if you only choose one word. And if you choose to, you can change your energy at any moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sonia. That's I have a close friend who I work with, and she calls me on that all the time, the can't and have, all those words. And the difference it makes when you practice it, when you take what Sonia just said and you actually practice it, it seems so simple, but it's like simple things, they're so effective. So just to kind of give you guys a chance to have that settle in, just take a second, and I want you to think to yourselves, what is a phrase, I can't have, or I can't, or an I have phrase, one of those 3 phrases that you use with yourself regularly? Just think about what that is. Does anyone want to share one quickly? Anyone have an I can't or an I have phrase? No one? You guys don't have any of that talk at all? I can't have cheese. You know, with WildFest, this is great because we're told there's a don't line. And under the don't line goes things that we start going, I can't. But can you, physically? If I said, here's a cheese, put it in your mouth. You can. But you can't, but you choose not to. You choose not to have cheese. So think about something specifically in your life. And today, just make that one small commitment. Like, oh, this is one voice I have that keeps saying I can't or I have to do this. And just see if you can reframe it, like Sonia said, into I choose to, or I get the opportunity for. It's so much more powerful. Thank you so much, Sonia. Appreciate that.